Hey, how's it going, family? I'm gonna quit these intros. I honestly don't know how to start YouTube videos. Anybody want to reach out and tell me how to start YouTube videos? Because I genuinely do not know how, and I've been doing this shit for like a year, so I should probably like know how to do it. But you know, whatever. I'm not even gonna worry about it. I'm just gonna get started with the reading log. As you know, actually, I'm not even filming this on the last day of November. I'm filming this like November 25th. So there could be more. Actually, no, I'm going to just add everything to December. What am I saying? As you know, if you don't know, how I do reading logs is the first thing I talk about is the worst. Last thing I talk about is the best. That's all you really need to know. I'm just going to get started. The first thing that I read, actually, not the first thing I read this month, actually, one of the last. One of my, actually, my least favorite thing I read this month was sadly Black Clover. I just don't enjoy Black Clover like in the slightest. I mean, I'll get my positives out of the way before I say my negatives. And it is mostly a positive experience for me. Oh, excuse me. It's not like I'm sitting here like I hate this. I hate this. I hate. I'm enjoying it, but compared to everything else, it's levels. There's levels between these manga. What I dislike about Black Clover, actually, what I like about Black Clover, one, just how well the author is at like integrating and introducing people and characters to the story. Honestly, I haven't read volume 7 in a while. I had to go back and read it, and then I read volume 8. And the way the author just makes you like interested, but also like makes these characters known in the story so quickly is like so impressive. I don't even know how he does that. He just creates these cool ass character designs with these cool ass powers, and it's just super, super sick. Like, honestly. Another thing I really like is just the art. The art is like so well at drawing elements, especially when you're in this like magic system of where everything is an element, everything is, like a power, like, your classic fire, water, earth, air, ice, lightning, whatever. And he's really good at drawing them. I mean, if you look at a manga like Demon Slayer is not very good at it, and it's like levels between Demon Slayer and Black Clover in terms of art with elements. And I think that's kind of where my positives end. And here come my negatives. And I really just don't care about anybody in this cast. I don't care about the main character. I don't care about like any of the characters. Nobody interests me. A lot of these themes and a lot of what they're talking about is Asta like using the power of his friends to help him in battle, and it's just repeated over and over again, and it definitely doesn't help when I don't care about a single one of these characters. They're not interesting. Like I just said, it makes them interesting, but there's no like not relatability. I don't know how to explain it. I can't connect to anybody. There's nobody I connect to. Also, in these volumes, it kind of pissed me off a little bit. There was something that pissed me off a little bit. There's a scene, or there's like a thing where Asta's arms, he can't use his arms anymore. They're like cursed for eternity. And I expected, the way they were making it out was, we're spending 5 volumes on fixing this brother's arms. And I would have fucking loved that shit. Do you know how much I would have loved it if they spent an entire arc of just his friends just trying to help him? Like, another thing I like about Black Clover is just how how the author uses Asta to propel other character arcs. Like, I love how Asta, just him being himself and him like wanting to become better, inspires other people to also like get better and get stronger. And I would have loved if this arc showed the reciprocation of that and showed how valuable that is to a relationship in general and a friendship. But it doesn't. They just like go to a kingdom and he heals his arms in like 10 chapters. And it's like in half a volume. That's it. And it's really, really frustrating because so much character building could have been done off of that, and it just doesn't do anything. It's like why were we even here in the first place? And then another thing I dislike, and this is with a lot of like battle shonen, or there's a lot of battle manga, but it's really prevalent in here. But when there's like the manga rushes such important character moments just to get to fights. Now, usually, what other battle manga do to fix this like problem? Because the main point of a battle manga is to show battles. That's the main point of a battle manga. So you have to show battles. There can't be like a 20, 30 chapter run of no battles. So what usually the authors do is they show character arcs, character moments in the battles. Black Clover does not do that. So these very, very important character moments that I need so I can connect to these characters, they get super, super rushed and they immediately go to the fights. And the fights are very boring. I will say though, Black Clover does a really good job at introducing these super, super high stake villains and making them feel threatening. That's something Demon Slayer does very well. That's something One Piece does very well. Black Clover honestly kind of does it at the same level where they introduce, like in this like Water Kingdom, they're at this Water Kingdom, they introduce this villain. He actually feels unbeatable. Like it didn't feel like they could beat him. And it's done very, very well, in my opinion. And that is Black Clover. I don't have a lot to say about it. It wasn't my favorite thing I've ever read. It wasn't great. Next, sadly, I'm sad to put this so low because of just how much hype I've heard about it. And I wanted to like it more, but just I did not care for it like at all. And this was Oshinoko. Oshinoko. What do I talk about first? I will say the twist at the end of this first volume, I'm going to try not to spoil it, but the twist at the end was incredible. It's paneled so well. It's written so well. A lot of arcs are paid off in this. It's incredibly sad. It had me tearing up at the end. It's so good. And that is where my positives end with this entire series. Let me get something straight first. I hate manga. Really, I hate any medium, but I don't like when a series takes a job that is thought of to be easy and they tell people that it's difficult. I hate that. That's what this manga does. Like when this manga is all about showing how hard it is to be an idol and, oh, you don't even get paid very well and being an idol is really difficult and you have to lie all the time. You have to satisfy your fans. It's fucked up. Don't get me wrong. But like, no shit. Like, no shit. Like, obviously, if your main fucking attractor, if you're advertising your looks, some fucking Discord moderator is going to get pissed if you show you have kids or you show you have a boyfriend. That's common sense. Listen, I'm not an optimist. I'm just putting pieces together. I'm not saying it's right. I'm just saying that's probably what's going to fucking happen. And it makes it sound like it's spinning such valuable information. Really? Really? Is it really that valuable information? Like, it's pretty obvious. I feel like it's pretty obvious. Yeah, this manga just feels like The Boys season 4. The Boys season 1 through 3 was incredible. I love that show. It's probably The Boys season 1 through 3, top 10, top 5, top 10 favorite shows of all time. That is peak television right there. And they show, like, obviously the creators have a political agenda. Obviously Homer is Trump. Homelander. Homelander's Trump. That is so obvious from like the second episode. And then in season 4, they just make it so painfully obvious that it feels like it's preaching. And it's not fun anymore. It's just not funny. It's like, it's just not good anymore. It just doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel inspired. It doesn't feel creative. I get it. It's hard to do. It's just not good. I just don't enjoy it anymore. And that's what Oshinoko did kind of from the jump. This first half, like this first like 7/8 of this volume is so incredibly boring. There's nothing going on. The entire thing is just like, it's just like trauma dump of I being like, oh, I wish I could actually love someone correctly. And it gets paid off incredibly well at the end. Don't get me wrong. It gets paid off so well. But the build up to that is so aggravating, in my opinion. I just can't take it. I can't take it. And this is from a guy that loves the author's other works. I love Kaguya-sama Love is War. I love that manga. But, I didn't feel it here. I genuinely did not feel it. And then After, that like prologue area, after that, it kind of just gets pretty muddled. I did like the acting like arc. I like the, when he's like becoming and I like the reality TV show arc. There is like a character arc in the third volume that I really despised. Basically, it's just this girl. She does bad on a reality show. She gets a bunch of mean comments, and she tries to kill herself. I hate those kind of things where characters just try to commit suicide so willy-nilly. I hate that so much. It glorifies it so much. It's really just not my thing. Yes, I have this over Black Clover because it made me feel an emotion over boredom, but it is only slightly over Black Clover, and I like it. I'm not saying I dislike Doshinoko. I'm trashing on it a lot. I like Doshinoko. It was a fun manga. I don't know. There's only like 14 volumes. I might as well continue reading it, but it's hard. It's not my cup of tea. Let's just say it's not my cup of tea. All right, next, I got a manga that I've heard a lot of great things about, and I can definitely tell it's gonna get good. But this first volume was just okay in my opinion, and that was March Comes In Like a Lion. Actually, it was a great volume. I love this volume, but I do have some issues, kind of, but not really. I don't have like a plain issue, but everything that this manga does well, the manga ahead of it just like do better, and I just enjoyed those more. There's nothing inherently wrong with this volume or this series, but just didn't really click with me yet. But I have heard this is like a life-changing manga. There was a scene that almost got me to tear up. It was very, very good. The comedy is overall pretty decent. The first chapter is incredible, where there's just no words. You just see him getting ready, his life, his daily, activities, whatever. You get to see his room. That's incredible. I love that. There's just a lot of things in here that I enjoyed, and a lot of things here that I just thought were pretty unnecessary. There are a lot of scenes where characters are kind of just talking about their day, and it doesn't really contribute anything. And it's a slice of life. Like, this is a slice of life manga. I'm not a slice of life guy, so it's a little bit boring to get through those, but usually they don't last for too long. So for me, it's pretty easy to just breeze through. Pretty easy. Done deal. All right, next, I have a manga that actually I think got a lot better. And that is from the 2 volumes I read from it. That is Under Ninja, volumes 3 and 4. And I can't wait for volume 5. I think there's a 5th volume. There's like 12 volumes or something. There's a lot of volumes, but yeah, Under Ninja is getting a lot better. They're starting to flesh out the world a lot more from the past 2 volumes. I really like this idea of modern ninjas where they literally could be anybody. Like, I like the feudal Japan ninja. I don't even know if it's feudal Japan, but like those Japanese ninjas with like the black mask and the swords and the katanas and the shurikens and the whatever they're called. Ninjago type of ninjas. Very, very cool. I like those kinds, but I also really like these ninjas where they're just everyday people who get missions and they actually feel secretive. Like our main character, I love this kind of character archetype where they're like a boring piece of shit, but they're also incredibly skilled in what they do. So this guy, he's a lazy bum. He doesn't do anything. He basically has no job, but he's incredibly skilled at being a ninja. So I love those kind of characters, and our main character basically fits that bill perfectly. I love it. I love the side cast. The side casts are really, really fun. They have great chemistry with each other. There's a time where the main character tries to like get into this school, and it is so funny and so ludicrous, but also just so out of the box. It's incredible. Like, he like reads answers based off like beans on the floor, and then the type of excuses he makes are so funny. Genuinely, like, just some really, really funny stuff, really cool stuff, just pretty badass. And the fight scenes are incredible. You can tell exactly what's happening. The art is incredible. It's like very Good Night Poon Poon-esque art where it's super, super realistic. Yeah, I don't really have a lot of negatives for this manga. Yeah, I mean, it's just a great manga overall. Next, I got a manga that has been getting a lot better in my opinion, and that is Terra Formars, volumes 2, 3, and 4. I read the first volume of Terra Formars, and I thought it was pretty good. I thought the first volume was pretty good. It was a great twist in there. Uh, incredible horror, great pacing, fun action. Loved it. This stepped up the game. One, we get introduced to a lot more characters, and we get those characters known more. In the first volume, they introduced like 50 characters. All of them died. Only 2 were remaining. Also, where's the second guy? So this like cuts to like I don't even know how many years in the future, but it time skips a little bit, and our main character is now like the owner of the organization, or he's like part of the team. He's like the captain of the team, and we get introduced to a lot more main characters and just a lot more characters in general that are super super cool and that like stick and actually stay in the story, which is what I like. I hate it when a series just kills off characters just for shock value, and then you have no other side, main, whatever. You have no side characters like at all to like bounce on. Terra Formars does not do that. It will introduce a lot of characters and only kill half of them and not all of them, which I'm very grateful for. And yeah, the horror in this manga is just super, super good. There's a scene where they're all like on the ship, and it's like the biggest, and there's a huge jump scare, and it actually was like got me scared and shit. So yeah, Terra Formars, great manga, very, very underappreciated. It needs to get reprinted. I got it very, very cheap, honestly, from East Coast Manga, the GOAT. And yeah, I could not be happier with my purchase. All right, next. I got I was going to talk about it, but I showed it on screen. Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Now, this manga actually recently got an anime, and I heard a lot of great things about it. So, actually, before that, I bought it because I heard great things about it in the manga space, and then I got an anime. But, oh my goodness, that sounded awful. I just burped, and that sounded like a fucking alien creature. Orb on the Movements of the Earth. Great manga, fantastic storytelling, fantastic plot, fantastic premise. I never thought the premise of a guy discovering that the Earth rotates around the sun instead of vice versa would be this entertaining. I only have one issue though, and that is our 2 new main characters are not as compelling as our first main character. The section with the first main character, which is like the first part of this volume, is so suspenseful, so entertaining, so good. I loved it so much. It was like a 9 out of 10 for me. And then the second half drops the ball a little bit. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not bad. It's entertaining. There's some sad moments. There's some emotional moments. The characters have great chemistry. They're just not as good as like Raphael or whatever this guy's name was. Ryaf or some... Raf. I think it's just Raf. Raf was a great main character. He was so good. And the rest of it is, it's good, but it needs to step up. Now, I own volumes 2 and 3. Probably going to read those soon. And I'm going to see where I feel about the series. If it gets better or worse through, our new main characters. I think it's going to get better, but, we'll see. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that is Orb on the Movements of the Earth, and it was incredible. It was a great volume, obviously. All right, next, I got another manga that I don't hear people talking about enough, and it is super good, was After God. After God was incredible. I loved After God, and it might not be for the reasons you think. I don't know what that means. It's for probably the reasons you think. The incredible artwork. The artwork is incredible. The incredible premise. The premise is so cool. Like, just this idea of these gods that roam around Japan, and if you look at them, you die just because of how beautiful it is. It has great questions about morality and what it means to, like, death, and is death actually a good thing, and is it like a blessing or is it a curse? Like, how should we view death in our own eyes? And is it really that awful when you're looking at something so beautiful? Like, that is so interesting. And our main character is like, it's such an anomaly in the story. She's such like I don't know, like a square in a circle piece, if that makes sense. Like, it just doesn't click. She doesn't click within the world, and it's great because she's just such a mystery. Our main guy character is great too. She bounces off, the rest of like the organization very, very well. And I can definitely tell this manga going forward is going to get really good. I mean, it had some incredible art. I mean, like here, just look at this stuff. Like, Ugh! It's so cool. I love this volume. I can't wait to read more. Volume 2 is coming soon. I don't know when though. Like December, January? I don't know. But it's coming soon. I pre-ordered it already. Next volume. I read a lot of good stuff this month. I gotta be honest. I read some pretty good stuff. Next, Inuyashiki. Great manga. Follows this guy about... He's this old man who, like, basically has a shitty life. Like, his family doesn't appreciate him. He's super, super sick. He gets cancer. Old as fuck. Nobody likes him. His dog barely likes him. Like, he is, like, the most down on his dumps old man you've ever seen. And then he gets blown up by, we don't even know, but he probably gets blown up by, like, aliens or something. I'm guessing. That's my theory. And he turns into a robot, and he's fine. He has no, like, he has no tumor. He's no back pain. He's basically not even old anymore. He's basically immortal. And yeah, this was actually, this is gonna be my final thought about the series. Go read it yourself. This was the quickest manga to make me tear up. I was maybe 1/3 through this volume, and I started tearing up. It was so, I don't even know if 1/3 is the right thing to say. Probably less, honestly. Like, just the way they treat this man, and the way, like, it was paneled, and how good it was. It was just so good. It genuinely so good. All right. Next, I have Ajin. Demi-Human volumes 1 through 3. Yes, I saw those ultimate completed versions. I don't want those. They look great, but I'm sticking with the singles. The singles look absolutely beautiful on the shelf. They look so good on the shelf. Just like, these range around of colors. I don't think the omnibuses are going to look that good on the shelf like these singles do. And it's just easier to get through these singles. These singles make a lot more fun to get through. Ajin, Demi-Human, first manga I read this month. Like, fantastic volume. I keep saying this about a lot of manga, but a lot of the manga that I'm talking about are same level stuff. Like, genuinely just really, really good. Ajin, Demi-Human is one of those manga. It kind of reminds me of Breaking Bad. I'm going to be honest, I don't know why. It reminds me of Breaking Bad in the sense that, like, you cannot look away from the story. You can't look away. Every single, like, thing that people say, you have to, like, take into account. Because they don't answer a single goddamn question for you. Actually, if anything, they bring up more questions than they answer. Like, in Volume 1, I'm going to just give you an example. Basically, we get introduced to these demi-humans. Human dies. There's like a 0.0001 chance for demi-human. If they're demi-human, if they get caught, like if a person catches them, they are like, they become a millionaire and they get experimented on and like basically everything, right? Main character becomes a demi-human. He leaves. Our secondary main character, or like our like sidekick here, strangely does not look human in a world where everyone else looks human. So that's a bit strange. They go, for some reason, this guy also knows like everything. So they go to like this town or whatever. For some reason, he knows where the fuck the town is because his grandpa lives there or some shit. They go to the town. He leaves. We meet another guy who's like a poacher, but he's also blind. He's super sick. I can't tell if he's a good guy or bad guy. I think he's a bad guy. After that, we like see like something else. We see like the guy's sister like in a bed, and then we see a police officer come in, and she's like, "Oh, how is your brother?" And the girl and the sister's like, "Oh, he's like inhuman. He's like fucked up and crazy." And then she starts fighting a demi-human. Like she turns into a demi-human, or no, she has like a demi-human stand. The demi-human stand fights another demi-human while the sister's in there. I don't think the sister could see what the fuck is happening. I just think she sees her like going onto the ceiling and fucking bursting into blood. While that's happening, the poacher is tricking like the brother, the guy who turned into a demi-human. The poacher is like tricking him into becoming like a person or whatever. He turns him in so that he can see like how bad it is being a demi-human, and then he's like chilling. He like goes in, he's like experimented on, but he's chilling. And then this random ass doctor doctor helps him for like fucking no reason, and then he dies, and then he like drowns for like all of eternity, comes out the other side perfectly fine because Demi-Humans can't die. I don't know what the fuck is happening in this manga. And then on top of that, they're world building even more. They're talking about how they're using Demi-Humans to put them into cars to test like safe driving and shit. That's fucking genius. I would have never came up with that. They're using Demi-Humans to test medicine. It's so fucking genius. I don't even know where to start. Actually, I do know where to start. I started just like maybe 45 seconds ago. But yeah, Ajin Demi-Human, so incredible. I have so many questions. I can't wait to read the rest. All right. Sorry. I'm out of breath from doing that entire explanation, that entire spiel. Next, I got the Promised Neverland, volumes 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. The Promised Neverland. What do I have to say about this manga? I don't really know. Well, one, the resolution to the first arc is very, very good. Actually, this entire manga is very, very good. I am enjoying the shit out of this manga. One, it creates an incredible mystery. The mystery of this manga of where the fuck we even are is so good. It's implemented so well. The characters don't even know, and it's genius. Our main characters go to this hut, and they try to stay in the hut. They don't, and they go to another lake. I don't know what's going to happen in that lake. I'm very excited to see what happens in that lake. My only issue is they're trying too hard to redeem characters. There are two characters in here that are obviously villains, and like there's this like black lady who's like a mother, but not really a mother. She's like a sister. And then there's the main lady, the white lady, who is... Can you tell I know characters' names? Black lady, white lady. White lady who's like the mother. She's like the sister mother. And then there's white lady who's the mother. And they try to redeem them both. They're both like feeding children to demons. Don't redeem them. Like, actually don't. Actually, if you want to make it better, make them more evil. Make it so, like, it starts off like, I bet, you had to feed us to demons, but I bet you had a good reason. And then end it with, I just fucking hate you kids. That would be great. I would love that. Stop trying to redeem these villains. That's my only issue with the Promised Neverland. After that, everything's great. Art's great. Mystery's great. Writing's great. Pacing is, oh my God, pacing is incredible. There's so many things that I really, really love about the Promised Neverland. I'm probably going to sell it soon, though, just because of the box set. Or I'm just going to buy the rest, because I only have like 10 out of the 20 volumes. After that, we're almost done, by the way. I know, I had a giant spiel on some of those manga, but we're almost done, honestly. I know, 30-minute video, almost done. 100 Girlfriends, I really, 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 really love you. Great volume. Fantastic. Hilarious. I love the series. Of all time. 2 girlfriends get introduced. I really, really like them. There's a bunch of side stories and stuff. Great stuff. I don't really know what to say about this series from volume to volume, because more saying the same stuff just happens. 2 girlfriends or 1 girlfriend usually gets introduced to volume, and we get a couple side stories of some previous girlfriends that need some love and attention, and that's really it. We get a side story that's very good where the book reading girl goes to meet the author of a book, and he is like a slob, but he's actually not the real author, and it's a different girl. I honestly kind of wish that he was the real author. I really, really would have liked it if it was like a play on Don't Judge a Book by Its Cover, where she says like, oh, I really, really like your books, and he like starts fangirling with her or some shit. Like, I think that would be really, really funny. I would have loved that. But no, they go a different route. It's fine. It's not supposed to be, this volume isn't supposed to make me like get aggravated with the plot or whatever, like Oshinoko does sometimes. But yeah, 100 Girlfriends, great volume. This is a great series. Great, one of the funniest manga I've ever read, in my opinion. Next, surprisingly, this volume is this low, even though I still love the shit out of this manga. And it's still number 2 of all time. It is very low. And that is because we got into a comedy arc. And it's funny. It's not what I like to see about the series. It's the boxer. This volume is still incredible. Don't get me wrong. It beat out Ajin. It beat out Terra Formars. It beat out Inuyashiki. It beat out After God. It beat out the 100 Girlfriend. It beat out the Promised Neverland. And it beat out Oshi no Ko. The Boxer, this is probably one of the worst volumes of the series. I'm going to be honest. Still great. Oh, shit. My phone's kind of dying. Still great. Still incredible read. Some stuff needs to just leave. Some stuff needs to leave. Love this guy. He's probably my favorite character of all time. I'm going to be honest. Even though this volume is so low, he's probably my favorite character of all time. Victor, I don't remember his last name, but there's a soccer player named Victor Gyökeres, and they say his full name a lot, so I just pronounced it as Victor Gyökeres. I know it's like some Russian shit. I just say Victor Gyökeres because that's how I hear it. My name's Victor. I know the soccer player, so that's how I hear it. Victor Gyökeres here is my favorite character of all time. One, we get to end to my favorite boxing match I've ever watched my entire life, including me as a boxing fan. That was an incredible match. We get to the end of that. I cried, obviously. We also get a little bit more insight into you, not your story, you's story. And it is one of the best snippets of manga I've ever read. It's just over and over, just different people going throughout life. And it's, paralleling with you. And I just love how this match where Victor is so paralleled and so just off of you and is so, I don't know how to explain it. What's that word that's juxtaposition. It's so fuck me, bro. So paralleled with Yu's story, but also being so incredibly different, where Victor Gyökeres is not a good boxer. He's not good in the slightest, but he has fun, and he enjoys what he does. Even if he's the worst out there, he genuinely enjoys every single thing that he does. And that is completely opposite and in contrast you, and completely. It's basically the verse flipped on its head. And I explain it. I'm really bad at explaining things. And Yu's story is just told so well through Victor's eyes. It's just so good. And there's even a line here where Victor says, it's so small. It's such a nothing line. But, he gets beaten up. Whatever. Where is it? Here it is. Oh, yeah, is this where he, gets the nightmare where he doesn't have a mohawk? Oh, yeah. Just the absolute energy he has of just having a mohawk is so good. I love it so goddamn much. Let's see, here we go. His coach goes up to him and goes, "You're awake? Oh, did I lose? Yeah, majorly. You never stood a chance from the get-go. It was embarrassing. Where was your fist imbued with the power of nature? That was the shortest title match in boxing history, you mohawked moron." And then he goes, oh my God. I almost cried when I read this. I see. But it was fun, right? Yeah, honestly, it was pretty fun. And he just laughs. And then him going next to you and him being the only one in the entire freaking manga that can tell that he's not enjoying it is such fucking perfect writing. I love it so goddamn much. I love the boxer. I love it. He says, "What a small hand." He's shaking his hand. I could probably just show this to the camera. But he goes, "What a small hand. With a hand that seems like he could break at any moment. He threw that kind of punch." And he looks at you and he goes, "You don't have to box if you don't want to." Oh my God! It's so good! Genuinely so good. No, not another boxer in the entire series, not even Carmen or whatever her name was, said that to him. And the fact that Victor can see that out of him, even though his arc is mainly just for comedy purposes, is incredible. I love it so much. Next, we have a series I'm very familiar with. I'm actually rereading it, and that's Haikyuu. I'm not going to talk about this too much because any chance I get to talk about Haikyuu. and this video is already long enough as it is. But yeah, Haikyuu is my favorite series of all time. This is where stuff starts to get pretty good, is the match we're in right now. It's only the start of it, though, and I'm so glad I'm rereading this manga because I'm picking up on so many different things than when I read it the first time. Like the first Abajosai match, or the first Blue Castle match, whatever your depiction of the name is I didn't really think was that important, nor did I think it was that good. But just reading and seeing the way Oikawa is controlling the match so hard, and the way that contrasts with the second match and just his character overall is so perfect. I love it so goddamn much. I say that so much too. And I just love how they're building up these characters like so much. You can definitely tell that these teams have like different personalities as well. Like Date Tech, blocking team. Abajosai, receiving team, connecting team. Nekoma, stealthy, agile team. Like, the author is using these very, very complex ideas in volleyball and shaping up to be super simple to the average person. And I love it. I love it. Yeah. Haikyuu, incredible. Favorite manga of all time. Probably volume 3 is going to be a 10 out of 10 of, like, the 3-in-1s or whatever. Because that volume is going to be the end of the match, plus a little bit of the training, probably. Because it's 6, 7, 8. Right, no. It's 7, 8, 9. So, yeah, it's going to be some of the training. And then 10, 11, 12 will be the rest of that, plus the start of the second tournament. All right. And finally, my favorite thing that I read this month. Crazy that this is number 1, because it's a manga that a lot of people won't say is very deep. I'm not saying that. That's actually the opposite. I think it has a lot to say about a lot of things, and that's Blue Lock. Blue Lock, funny it's Blue Lock, but it has a red thing. Yeah, Blue Lock, top 10 favorite manga of all time, probably number 10. It's not very high on my top 10, but if you read 150 manga like me, like that's getting in the top 20 is insane. Blue Lock, so many things happen in this manga that are so goddamn good. So many arcs are completing and starting at the same time. And I already know the next volume is going to be better. First off, Shido is my favorite character in this manga now. His philosophy when it comes to football is so smart. It's so creative and just so interesting to delve into. I hope the author talks about it in the next fucking 30 volumes. It's so interesting. I love, like, Baro's introduction. I love Isagi talking to Ego, saying, hey, I don't give a shit what's happening in the future. I want to win now. It's like, that's not realistic in the terms of a student back talking his coach. God damn, if I ever did that to my boxing coach, I would be on the pavement. But holy shit, that feeling, that urge that you have when you play sports is replicated so well in this manga. I actually can't tell you enough how good it is. And it definitely doesn't help when this stuff is getting adapted right now in the anime, and it's just not good. The animation is very lackluster for what the manga is. And oh my goodness, bro. I'm just looking at it now and I'm getting flashbacks to when I read it. I was literally reading this volume and I would read like a hype moment and I would do fucking laps around this manga room because of how big this is. I would do fucking laps. Like, that's how hype this shit was. Oh my goodness. So yeah, that was my manga vlog for November. If you made it this far, drop a cookie emoji in the comment section. Also, Twitter, my enemy list in the description down below. If you want any manga, manhwa, comic reviewed, just pay me $2 and I'll do it. Just put in the comments. Pay me $2. I'll do it. And that's it. That's all I have to say. No online stuff, though. If I have to read it online, I can't just buy it in real time, I'm not reading it. So, yeah.